Howdy, I'm Amy, and here's my voting story. I never used to really worry much about having problems voting because we know from the media that voting problems only happen in swing states. And I live in California, which is completely blue, except that parts of it are red. And parts within those parts are actually blue, and I live in one of those parts. And since local elections are on the same ballots as the national ones, it means that at the local level, this whole red-blue swing state thing, it doesn't actually mean anything. Elections at the local level are still the three-ring circus our forefathers intended them to be. Anyway, a few years ago, I got a letter. It said it was from the Registrar of Voters, only it looked more like a phishing scam, except that it was through snail mail, not email, so I guess technically that would be mail fraud. Anyway, I'm a geek, so I thought phishing scam. The letter said that the post office had told them that it couldn't deliver mail to me, and that if I didn't respond, I would be dropped from the voter registration rolls. Now, the post office has usually been pretty good about making sure I get all of my mail. So I thought this has got to be phishing, and so I just threw the letter away. But sure enough, when the next election rolled around, I checked, and I was not registered to vote anymore. So I got re-registered, and I got to vote again. And then I got another one of those letters, and this time I did respond, even though it looked like it was a phishing scam, and then I was okay to vote. Of course, I did have to pay $7,000 to a Nigerian prince, but now I'm not sure what was behind all this. It was a few years ago, so hopefully they don't still do this, but I think it's not a very good practice to have people's eligibility to vote tied to their willingness to respond to things that look like phishing scams. Anyway, I've been very careful about voting ever since then. I check with the Registrar of Voters before every election to make sure I'm still registered. If I vote by mail, I call and I make sure my vote has been received and tallied every day until they say yes. And I always make sure to vote with a smudge-proof pen. Can't be too careful. Okay, maybe I've gotten just a little bit overzealous, but it made me realize a couple of things. One, you really do have to be careful about your vote, no matter where you live. And two, there's probably a lot of other people out there with stories like this that don't get told. We can post them all separately to YouTube, but how will people find them? So, what if we got together and posted them all in one place? So, okay. Current topic is voting stories. It can be anything you want on that topic. Could be voter suppression or just any weird, wonderful, screwed up, naughty, funny thing that happened to you on the way to the polls, or anything about voting at all. The topic here is the U.S. presidential election, but if you're not a U.S. citizen, don't let that stop you. No voter ID laws here. Go for it. Send it in. Doesn't need to be slick. Can be a quick cell phone video. Short is great. Just post them and we'll put them up.